All right, I said I was going to teach you guys the basics, start from the beginning and work our way up. So today we're going to talk about blow drying with a paddle brush. Today I'm going to show you how to do a basic blow dry using a paddle brush to get your hair smooth. Now you can do it to prep your hair for iron work, or if your hair type can sustain it, create a style like the one I'm wearing today. This is second day hair. I filmed this tutorial footage yesterday. We're just going to jump right into it, and I'm going to kind of explain my process. So let's get going. Okay, so to start, I always brush my hair out before putting any product in it. Some people require a leave-in or a detangler. Go ahead and put that in before you start brushing your hair. And I always use a wet brush on my hair to brush it out wet. I will always tell every person that's not a professional stylist to start at the bottom of their hair and work their way up to the root. A stylist, we have this like wiggle wrist motion that we do to kind of let go of the hair as we like kind of separate it at the top before we start working our way up. So we're not locking the hair, which is what we're trying to prevent you from doing when we tell you to start from the bottom and working your way up. Using a wet brush, it's important to use a wet brush because a wet brush, the bristles are a little bit more relaxed. I really like the EQ hand brush and the Tangle Teaser because those have two different lengths of bristles. One length, the longer bristle is more flexible. The shorter bristle is a little bit more stiff. So it lets go of the knots as it brushes out the hair. Super quick detanglers, great for kids that have sensitive scalps. Always work with a clean brush. Make sure your brush is cleaned out. Pull all the hair out of it. You'll see me pull hair from my brush as I work quite a bit because otherwise you have hair strands with the cuticle layers going different ways running across your hair, which can rough your hair up. And now I'm going to prep my hair with Kenra Platinum's blow dry spray. This is a thermal protectant spray. It's a dry oil. It is designed to protect the hair up to 428 degrees of heat. It has argan oil and jojoba oil in it, and it can help reduce your blow dry time up to 50%. It says 3 to 5 sprays, but as a hairstylist, I'm like, just dump the bottle on my head and let's keep it moving. So I'm going to spray it throughout. And then I'm going to brush through the hair to get it evenly distributed. And then I'm going to be following up with my Seal the Deal split end mender. It helps just kind of fight off frizz, humidity, helps keep your ends looking nice, helps prevent, it's better for preventing split ends. For my amount of hair, I use about that much. Looks kind of inappropriate, but we'll see. I get a run through from mid shaft to ends. Whatever residue is left over my hands, I will go through and I will like run it through near the root, but not onto my scalp. I hate having products on my hands. Fun fact, hate having products on my hands. Hair flip. So now I'm going to brush it through to make sure it's evenly distributed. Every time I put a product in my hair, I brush it through because I want to make sure it's fully and evenly distributed. If you're using a root boost or a root spray, you want to brush it away from the root. You want to brush it away from the root because it's going to help give you a little bit more lift and shape from the root out. Now I'm going to be taking a paddle brush, and I've been doing the middle part since elementary school when the double wave bang was like the thing to do, and the longer your bangs were, the cooler you were, and if your bangs touched the corner of your mouth, you were like teen heartthrob, like epitome, right? So I can actually like middle part my hair with like no problem, super quick without looking into a mirror, but here I am looking into a mirror. So I did this pretty quick. I'm not too worried so much about having a perfect middle part when I'm styling my hair. And the reason why is because I'm just splitting it to break it up into 2 sections. So it's a little bit easier for me to dry. After I'm done styling it, I will flip my hair over to one side, and having parted it in the middle gives me a little bit of lift. So if you were to part over here, but then flip your hair this way, it's going to give you a lot more lift. But you can only go so far before it's just not working out the way you want it to. I'm not like really worried too much about it being perfect. And then I'll run my finger down the back and split it up even more. Now, I switch brushes because you don't want to use a wet brush to blow dry with. You can melt the bristles really, really quickly. And if they're melting while it's in your hair, that's not It's not good. Like it could stick to your hair, get stuck in your hair, it could ruin your hair, it could burn your hair, cause damage to your hair. So you want to use a brush that is designed to be worked with a blow dryer. So you have your wet brush and you have a dry brush. This is more of a dry brush. That is the Babyliss Volair 2. The motor on that blow dryer is the shortest one. I use the V1, the Volair 1 at work. Has a longer snout. The motor in both of those blow dryers was actually designed by Ferrari. Like if you opened it up, it's a Ferrari motor inside the blow dryers. They're heavy, they're loud, they're my favorite. A lot of people prefer the Dyson. A lot of people prefer the new, what's it called? I can't remember, the skinny little one. I've played with both of those in the salon. Don't like either of them. They work great, just don't like them. I like something heavy, I like something loud, and I like something that's powerful. And that's a lot more powerful than those other two. Like the blast button on it, I call it the Beyonce button. Because if you think that I haven't had several concerts in my bathroom with my own wind machine, you're fooling yourself. So what I'm doing right now is called a rough dry. I split my hair and I am getting all the excess moisture out as much as I can. So you want your hair to be like damp but not wet when you take a brush to it and start styling it. Certain stylists have tried to be like, oh, you need to be 90% dry when you have this type of hair, this type of hair. No. With coarser, curlier hair, you do want it to be more on the wet side. 50% dry is about towel dried. So usually when someone has really, really coarse hair or they have really, really curly hair or a mixture of both, I'll usually start the blow dry off from like 60%. But other than that, I usually get the hair like pretty dry. I want all the excess moisture gone. So you just want to focus on the roots when you do a rough dry, because the ends are going to dry quickly as it is. Just the roots tend to contain most the moisture. If you have long hair or you've had this problem where you let your hair air dry but it stays wet back here all day, it's because all the moisture is trapped and there's no way for it to evaporate. So you want to go through and get as much out of the root as possible. And I keep running my fingers through to keep my hair from tangling up. But I point it so that way it runs along the hair and not at my hair. It also is pointed in the direction that the hair falls or grows, because it's going to help keep the cuticle laying down. Blowing your hair all over the place can open up the cuticle a little bit, which can be great for volume at times when you flip your head upside down and blow dry. But that's another conversation later. We're focusing on the basics right now. So you can see that my hair is drying relatively fast, and I'm going to attribute that to both the combination of the blow dryer itself. I'll put the blow dryer up right here, and the Kenra blow dry spray, again, I'll put that up right here as well. Those two together, like, I can blow dry my hair in like 12 minutes if I'm taking my time, 8 minutes if I'm in a hurry. So I'm going to brush out my hair before I go in. I put my concentrator on, and now I'm taking more vertical sections, and I'm creating tension with that brush as I run through with the blow dryer. Again, I have a thermal protection spray in my hair. You will see steam, but that's because dry oil thermal protection spray, like blow dry spray, will get itself in between the water and your hair. And so it pushes the water away from the hair, being that oil and water are not, they don't mix. What's the word I'm looking for? Anyway, not important. So it pushes the water away, and then the water will steam off the hair. But it is important to have a thermal protection spray in your hair if you're going to blow dry, unless you're doing a cold blow dry or you're blow drying it on really, really low heat. Even with really low heat, I would recommend that's doing a cold blast. That is because we're in our last heat wave. I was trying to line this up so it was like a nice cool day that I could do this for you guys. But every time I had the time to do it, ran into a heat wave, and I was like, you know what, screw it. I'm going to try to get ahead of the heat today when I did this. So you'll see me like stop and blow air on me. It's because I switched it over to cold, and I'm doing a cold blast, which this blow dryer cools down super, super fast to help like cool me off so I don't, sweat out my blowout. So I was getting a little warm in there. So I'm going to go through with vertical sections and tension, and starting in the back towards the bottom, and I'm working my way around and forward, up and then around and forward. And the reason why is because, again, that's where most of the moisture is held. It's also the hardest to get to, and you don't want to like dry everything in front and then have to like try to reach around it to find the hair in the back. I will work on the outside of the hair for a majority of the blow dry in the section. And then every now and then I'll go underneath inside the hair just to make sure the hair along the hairline is smooth. In the video marked above, I'm critiquing someone's blow dry information, and they say shits and underneath. That shouldn't happen. The hair should be smooth all the way through. Cold blast again. Number 2. I'm going to stop verbally counting them. If your hair looks a little frayed at the very ends when you're blow drying, that's because your ends have not fully dried. So I'm going to keep blow drying, even though my hair looks dry and silky and smooth. And it's because my ends don't look smooth enough. So if your ends are still a little frayed, but the rest of your hair is shiny, it's because your ends are not fully dry. They may feel dry, but they're not fully dry. Okay, so now I'm going inside the hair just to make sure all those little internal pieces are smooth, not the shits and bits, because we don't say that about hair. And now that I got one side done, I'll move on to the next. Okay, you'll see that I just spun my concentrator. You don't need to do that. The reason why I spun mine is because mine is slanted. It's a patented style and it has back vents on it. So when we're using the concentrator, I could have mentioned this in the beginning of the blow dry. When we're using a concentrator, we're trying to point the concentrator to send the flow of air in the direction that the cuticle goes in to help lay that cuticle down more. Heat is going to change the shape of your hair. Cold is going to set your hair. So if you notice, I'm not playing with my hair after having just blown it out. I'm letting it cool down while I work on the other side. Now I am ambidextrous, so you're going to see me switch hands with the blow dryer and the brush. I can work both ways, but I've been doing hair for 20 years. Like I've been wearing my hair longer, 12 years, 10 with my virgin color. So that's what you're going to be seeing me do. That's why I'm switching hands. You might have to work with the same hands and it might be a little bit more awkward for you, but trust me when I say practice blow drying handed, because it's going to come in clutch much later in life. You're not going to get it right away and it's going to feel super awkward, but over time it'll feel more and more comfortable. Also, like start on the side that's a little bit more awkward to you until you are ambidextrous. Again, starting in the back. I start up on top on my right side. I don't know why, but I work my way down and then I work my way back up. See, working my way down. And then I'll work my way back up. Yeah, I'm just going to repeat the same process that I did on the other side. And I'm just going to like fast forward through this part, just move a little bit further up. Okay, I'm just finishing up the last few pieces. So now that I have my hair dry and I have the texture I wanted that, the reason why I keep grabbing the move around my concentrator is because my concentrator gets super, super hot, like burn your hand hot. That's why I use a heat protectant that protects your hair up to 428 degrees when I do my blow dry. What I'm about to do, the reason why I turn is because when you're blow drying straight on, it's easier to follow the shape of your face when the nozzle is flat. If the nozzle is this way, then you get more awkward trying to move your hand around. So what I'm doing now is I'm going through with the heat and I'm running it away so that the air is blowing in the same direction the cuticle is going to lay down. But on top of that, what I'm also doing is making sure that any like little bit that I may have missed that might still have moisture in it, whatever, I'm going to make sure that gets dry. I'm going to go through with a hot blast first, and then I will be finishing off the run through. And I always make sure I get down the middle part of my back of my head, just make sure there's no moisture there into my crown, throughout my nape, or the kitchen as some call it. And the reason why I do this is because I want to make sure there's no moisture in there. You don't want to get mildewy, gross hair. You don't want any of that. It's not good to live in wet hair either. Like it's just, you want to make sure everything is dry. It helps me shape hair away from my face. So that way, when I do wear my hair down, it's not like this all day long. It's going to help keep hair out of my face, because after I'm done with the heat, I switch it over to cold, and then I do a cold blast. Again, heat will change the shape of your hair. Cold will set the shape of your hair. And that's what we're doing here towards the end. No nip slips. Being very modest today. Need to go to the gym. It's been a little while. Every time I go, I keep injuring myself. There's another little cold blast on my neck, my face to help calm down the sweating. Because typically, and I mean this wholeheartedly, the only way to really blow dry your hair is naked. And this is YouTube, not the hub. So we're going to be doing it the way it's meant to be done. Now you can see my hair's a little blasted back, little Eileen Wuornos moment, which is fine. Fix that real quick. I use a towel rack behind me to hold all my tools. And then I'm going to go in. Okay, so now that I've got my hairstyle the way I want to, I always go back through with a little bit of the Seal the Deal split end mender, because it just adds an extra layer of protection against humidity. It's going to help like really smooth out those ends a little bit more. It's going to add shine. You can see already my hair is shiny. Plus, I was using the Luxe Shine shampoo and conditioner this week. So this is not typically the condition my hair is in. I just did a review on this. So are the cards going there? Maybe they're going over there. Whatever. The cards are above me. So if I'm like here, it pops up over there, laugh. That's not what I typically use on my hair. But go watch the review and you'll see how I feel about it. But now I'm going to go through and just add a little bit of extra Seal the Deal. And this is where I'll flip my hair to the other side. I make sure I get it all over my hands. Anytime you're going to touch your hair after styling, you need to have like some kind of a serum or a slick on your hair. Our palms do not produce sebum. They have no sebaceous glands, oil. So sweat and stick, and it's going to disrupt your hair. It's going to disrupt a curl. It's going to disrupt your blow dry. So you want to make sure you have some kind of serum on it. I always make sure to get it in between my fingers, on the back of my hands. So when you run your fingers through, it goes on the back of your hand. So you want to make sure that you have that consistent. I want a lot. You just want enough residue that it's going to allow you to manipulate the hair if you're using a serum. If you're using something like a split end mender, you want to have just a little bit more than residue, so that way you can transfer it onto the hair. So I'm going to run that through, go out volume. Those little fuzzies will lay down too after I run this through. I get it all throughout my hair, and then what's barely left on my hands, I'll run through towards the root section, because it's just residue and it's going to help those flyaways just lay down a little bit. Get over yourself. Your hair is not a personality trait, but it is. Honestly, I'd shave my head tomorrow if my hair didn't make me as much money as it does. But yeah, my hair makes me money. All right, guys. So moving forward, I'm going to show you guys how to do like round brush blowouts. I'm not going to have like an exact set schedule. You guys are just going to have to be subscribed and that notification. Make sure you ring that bell, set your notifications so that way you don't miss any videos. I think I forgot to say that in my last two. Whoops. I'm learning. But make sure you guys stay subscribed. If you guys want to catch all this footage early, you can go over to my Patreon, patreon.com. That won't stop. I post everything there about 2 days earlier than I post them here. I did take a small break recently because I was dealing with some legal issues and a stalker that I have. But now I have a protection order in place, so everything is like squared away. My stress levels have come down quite a bit, even though they're kind of still at it. So this week I have filmed 3 videos. All of them were posted to Patreon. And I released them here on YouTube every 2 days. So Patreon users got 3 videos at once. You guys have gotten them over the course of a week or so. So if you can, I would appreciate it. I'm not expecting you to, but if you could, head on over to my Patreon and show your support over there as well. I'm thinking about, for stylists out there, sound off in the comments below. I'm thinking about doing professional classes on probably a different situation that's going to require you proving your license for me to show you certain things, because I don't want people attempting to do things on their own at home having had no training as a foundation. So either that or, I'm going to just put a disclaimer at the very beginning of these. Anyways, guys, I hope this helps. I hope you guys are enjoying the content. Let me know other things that you want to see. I do have irons planned for the future. I do have different types of blow dries planned for the future. The next blow dry I want to do it from the stylist perspective, so you can see the difference in how we blow dry versus how we blow dry ourselves. And yeah, just to kind of give some reality to how it all works. Everyone thinks, oh, well, you're a stylist, that's why your hair looks so nice. It's just as awkward for us to do our own hair as it is for you to do yours. Like, the difference between us doing your hair and us doing our own hair is that with you, we can stand above and move around you. We can't do that to ourselves. Our arms will only go so far. So remember, our arms are in the air all day long, every day. And then also to have to do it to ourselves, like 95% of our upper body strength comes from blow drying. But if there's any content that you want to see, any reviews you want me to do, sound off in the comments. Don't forget to like this video. Again, be sure to subscribe, click that bell, ring that bell, set your notifications so you don't miss anything. And until next time, thank you guys for joining me. Have a good one.